I should have known something was wrong when Marcus started coming home late with that guilty smile plastered across his face. But love makes you blind, doesn't it? Or maybe I just didn't want to see what was right in front of me. Either way, nothing could have prepared me for what I found 3 weeks before our wedding. The day started like any other Thursday. I left work early to surprise Marcus with his favorite dinner, lasagna with extra cheese, the way his mother used to make it. I even stopped by the bakery to grab those ridiculously expensive Italian pastries he loved. My arms were full of groceries, my heart full of excitement about our upcoming wedding. When I pushed open the door to our apartment, the sound hit me first. Low moans coming from our bedroom. My bedroom. Our bed. If this story already has you hooked, please hit that like button and subscribe. I promise this tale of revenge and unexpected love is just getting started. My hands went numb. The grocery bag slipped from my fingers, crashing to the floor. Pasta sauce exploded across the hardwood we'd just refinished last month, but I barely noticed. My feet carried me forward on autopilot, even though every instinct screamed at me to turn around and run. I pushed open the bedroom door. There they were. Marcus, my fiancé of 2 years, tangled up with my stepsister Veronica, in our bed, on the sheets I'd washed that morning, wearing, or rather, not wearing, anything that suggested this was their first time. "Oh my God, Emma!" Marcus scrambled up, his face going from flushed to pale in seconds. Veronica just smiled, that cruel, satisfied smile I'd seen 1,000 times growing up. The same smile she'd given me when she accidentally ruined my prom dress. The same smile when she told my father I'd crashed his car, even though it was her behind the wheel. "Emma, I can explain," Marcus started. "Save it." My voice came out surprisingly steady, cold, even. "How long?" "Emma, please." "How long?" Veronica sat up slowly, pulling the sheet around herself with deliberate casualness. 6 months, she said, examining her nails. "Give or take. 6 months. We'd been engaged for 18 months, which meant he'd been sleeping with her since before he even proposed. The ring on my finger suddenly felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. "You know what the funny thing is?" I heard myself say, still in that eerily calm voice. "I actually pitied you, Veronica. I thought maybe if I was kind enough, patient enough, you'd stop competing with me. Stop trying to take everything I had." "Compete with you?" Veronica laughed, sharp and brittle. "Please, there's no competition. There never was." Something inside me cracked then. Not broke. Cracked. Like ice that's been frozen too long, developing those deep fractures that run through the core. "You're right," I said, twisting the engagement ring off my finger. It left a pale indent on my skin, like a scar. "There isn't." I threw the ring at Marcus. It bounced off his bare chest and rolled under the bed. How fitting. "The wedding's off. I'll send someone for my things. And Marcus?" I paused at the doorway, looking back at the man I'd planned to spend my life with. He looked small suddenly. Pathetic. I hope she was worth it. I walked out of that apartment with nothing but my purse and my dignity. My phone started ringing immediately. Probably Marcus, but I turned it off and kept walking. My car was parked 2 blocks away, and I made it exactly 1 block before the tears came. I ended up at Rosie's bar, a dive on the east side that I'd never been to before, the kind of place where nobody asks questions, and the bartender knows when to pour another drink without being asked. I sat at the far end of the bar, still in my work clothes, mascara probably running down my face, and ordered whiskey. "Rough day?" the bartender asked, sliding the glass toward me. "Rough life," I muttered, downing it in one go. It burned, but the pain felt good, real, different from the numbness spreading through my chest. "Another," he poured. I drank. The bar was nearly empty, just a few regulars who looked like they'd been there since noon, and a group of well-dressed men in the corner booth. I didn't pay them much attention. I was too busy replaying every moment of my relationship with Marcus, looking for signs I'd missed. They were all there, of course. The late nights, the mysterious texts, the way he'd pull away when I tried to be intimate. I'd blamed wedding stress. I'd blamed work. I'd blamed everything except the obvious truth. He didn't love me. Maybe he never had. "You know what really kills me?" I said to the bartender, who was politely pretending to clean glasses while clearly listening. It was my stepsister, my own family. Well, stepfamily, but still. "Family can be complicated," a deep voice said from beside me. I turned to find one of the men from the corner booth had moved to the seat next to mine. He was young, maybe early 30s, with dark hair, darker eyes, and the kind of face that belonged on movie screens. Dangerous and beautiful in equal measure. His suit probably cost more than my monthly rent. Understatement of the century, I said, surprised I was even capable of conversation. He smiled, just a slight curve of his lips. Dante Moretti. He extended his hand. Emma Clark. I shook it. His grip was firm, warm, though I might be changing that name soon. Seems like a good time for a fresh start. Running from something, or toward something? Both. Neither. I don't know anymore. I laughed, but it came out broken. I just found my fiancé in bed with my stepsister, 3 weeks before the wedding, so I'm currently planning nothing and everything all at once. Dante's expression darkened. Your fiancé is a fool. Or maybe I was the fool for not seeing it sooner. I finished my second whiskey. 6 months. They'd been together for 6 months. And your stepsister? Let's just say this isn't her first time trying to take something of mine. She's been doing it since we were kids. I guess I finally got something she wanted badly enough to really go for it. So, what are you going to do? I looked at him then. Really looked at him. There was something in his eyes. An intensity that should have scared me but didn't. Maybe because I was already falling apart. Maybe because I had nothing left to lose. I'm going to cancel a wedding. Return 300 gifts. Tell my family that their perfect couple imploded. Face the pity and the whispers and the I told you so's. And then I'm going to pick up the pieces and figure out who Emma Clark is when she's not trying to be what everyone else wants her to be. Dante studied me for a long moment. What if there was another option? I should have walked away. Any sane person would have walked away from a gorgeous stranger in a bar, offering mysterious alternatives to your life falling apart. But sanity had left the building right around the time I'd found my fiancé naked with my stepsister. Another option? I repeated, the whiskey making everything feel slightly unreal. Unless you're offering to be my fake fiancé so I can pretend everything's fine. I think I'm fresh out of options. Dante's lips curved into a smile that sent an unexpected shiver down my spine. Not fake. Real. I laughed. Actually laughed. Are you seriously propositioning a drunk, heartbroken woman in a bar right now? Because I've got to tell you, the timing could use some work. I'm completely serious. He leaned closer, and I caught the scent of expensive cologne mixed with something darker. Danger, maybe. Marry me, Emma Clark. The absurdity of it sobered me up faster than any amount of coffee could have. You're insane. Probably. He didn't look offended. If anything, he looked amused. But consider it. You need to cancel a wedding. I need a wife. We could solve both problems. Why? The question came out sharper than I intended. Why would you possibly need a wife? And why me? You don't even know me. I know you walked away from a cheating fiancé with your head held high. I know you're sitting in this bar trying to figure out your next move instead of falling apart. I know you're stronger than you think you are. He paused. As for why I need a wife, let's just say my family has certain expectations about settling down, and I need someone who won't ask too many questions. That's the sketchiest thing I've ever heard. Probably because it is sketchy. At least he was honest. But it would be a business arrangement. You'd have security, independence, and the satisfaction of showing your ex-fiancé and your stepsister exactly what they lost. I should have said no. Should have finished my drink, called an Uber, and gone to my best friend Rachel's house to cry on her couch like a normal person. But there was something magnetic about Dante Moretti, something that made me want to do something completely out of character. What would this arrangement entail? I found myself asking. We get married. Soon. You move into my home. We present ourselves as a married couple in public. You maintain your independence otherwise, your job, your friends, your life. After a reasonable time, we can discuss dissolution if you wish. And the catch? The catch is that my world isn't simple. My family, we're complicated. Complicated how? Dante met my eyes directly. I'm not going to lie to you, Emma. My family is involved in businesses that exist in gray areas. Some people call us criminals. Some call us businessmen. The truth is somewhere in between. My heart should have been racing. I should have been scared. Instead, I felt oddly calm. Are you telling me you're in the Mafia? I'm telling you that I'm offering you a way out of your current situation. And in return, I need you to play a role. That's all you need to know right now. It was the worst idea in the history of bad ideas. Marrying a stranger. A criminal stranger. A gorgeous, mysterious criminal stranger who was looking at me like I was the most fascinating person in the world. "I need time to think," I said, even as part of me was already leaning toward yes. "You have until tomorrow night. After that, the offer expires." Dante pulled out a business card, black, embossed with silver lettering, and placed it on the bar. Then he stood, buttoning his suit jacket with practiced ease. "For what it's worth, Emma Clark, I think you deserve better than a man who couldn't see what he had, and I think you're braver than you know." He walked away before I could respond, rejoining his associates in the corner booth. I stared at the business card. No company name, just a phone number in silver ink. I left the bar an hour later, the card burning a hole in my purse. My phone, when I finally turned it on, exploded with messages. 63 texts, 27 missed calls, voicemails from Marcus, from Veronica, from my mother, from the wedding planner. I deleted them all without listening. Instead, I drove to my best friend Rachel's apartment. She took one look at me and pulled me inside. What happened? The story poured out. Marcus, Veronica, the betrayal, 6 months of lies. Rachel's face went from concerned to furious to murderous in the span of 5 minutes. "I'm going to kill him," she declared, already reaching for her jacket. "Actually, I'm going to kill them both. Start with Veronica, because that level of sisterly betrayal deserves something special." "Stepsisterly," I corrected automatically. "Doesn't matter. She's still family. That makes it worse." Rachel paced her small living room like a caged tiger. "What are you going to do?" I thought about Dante's offer, about the business card in my purse, about the way he'd looked at me like I was worth something. "I don't know yet, but I met someone tonight." Rachel stopped pacing. "Emma, please tell me you didn't do something crazy. Define crazy." "Oh, God. What did you do?" "Nothing yet, but I might marry someone else." The silence that followed was deafening. Rachel sat down slowly, her eyes wide. "Start from the beginning, and don't leave anything out." I told her about Dante, about his proposal, about the warning regarding his family. Rachel listened without interrupting, which was impressive given her usual tendency to offer commentary every 30 seconds. "Let me get this straight," she said when I finished. "A gorgeous, rich stranger offered to marry you in a bar, admitted he's probably connected to organized crime, and you're actually considering it. When you say it like that, it sounds insane." "Because it is insane, Emma. You don't marry random men in bars, especially not random men who admit they're criminals." He said his family was complicated. "That's code for we break kneecaps for fun." Rachel grabbed my shoulders. "Listen to me. I know you're hurt. I know you want revenge, but this is not the way." She was right, of course. It was reckless and dangerous and completely unlike me. The old Emma, the Emma who picked safe men and planned everything 3 months in advance, would never even consider it. But the old Emma had ended up with Marcus. The old Emma had been too blind to see betrayal happening right under her nose. The old Emma had let Veronica walk all over her for years because she wanted to keep the peace. Maybe it was time to be a new Emma. "I'm going to sleep on it," I said, which was a compromise Rachel could accept. She set me up on her couch with blankets and tea, hovering like a concerned mother hen until I finally convinced her to go to bed. But I didn't sleep. I lay there in the dark, phone in hand, staring at Dante's business card. 3 times I started to dial. 3 times I stopped. The 4th time, at 3 in the morning, I finally pressed call. He answered on the first ring. "I was wondering if you'd call." "This is crazy," I said. "Yes. I don't know you." "No. You could be a serial killer." "I'm not." There was amusement in his voice, though I understand why you'd need to check. Why me, really? There have to be hundreds of women who jump at this chance. Dante was quiet for a moment. "Because when you walked into that bar today, you looked like someone who had just lost everything but refused to break. Because you asked the right questions. Because I think we could help each other." Another pause. "And because when I looked at you, I saw someone real, not someone pretending to be something they're not." My heart did a stupid flutter thing that it had no business doing. If I say yes, I need rules, boundaries. I need to know what I'm getting into. "Agreed. We'll discuss everything. But I need an answer first." I took a deep breath, thought about Marcus, about Veronica, About the wedding that was supposed to happen in 3 weeks. About the life I'd planned that had disintegrated in the span of an afternoon. "Yes," I said. "I'll marry you." Dante picked me up at noon the next day. Rachel, who'd spent the morning trying to talk me out of it, glared at him through the window like a protective mother bear. "If anything happens to her, I have very particular skills," she announced when I introduced them. "And by skills, I mean I know where to hide bodies." "Noted," Dante said, completely unfazed. "Though I assure you, Emma will be perfectly safe." "She better be." Rachel pulled me into a crushing hug. "Call me every hour. And if you need an exit strategy, text me the word lasagna and I'll come get you." Lasagna. Got it. Dante's car was exactly what I expected. Sleek, black, expensive. Probably cost more than I'd make in 5 years. The interior smelled like leather and that same cologne from last night. He held the door open for me, which was surprisingly old-fashioned. "Where are we going?" I asked as he pulled into traffic. "Somewhere private where we can discuss terms. My lawyer wants to meet you." "Ah, your lawyer. Of course you have a lawyer involved." I laughed nervously. "This is really happening. Having second thoughts?" I thought about it honestly. Maybe 20th or 30th thoughts. But I'm still here. That's all I ask. We drove to a high-rise downtown, the kind of building with doormen and marble lobbies and elevators that moved so smoothly you barely felt them. Dante's penthouse took up the entire top floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city, and the furniture looked like it belonged in an art museum. "This is where you live?" I tried not to gape like a tourist. "This is where we'll live, if you agree to the terms." A woman in her 50s, with severe glasses and a tailored suit, was waiting in the living room. She stood when we entered, extending her hand. "Ms. Clark, I'm Margaret Chen, Mr. Moretti's attorney. Please sit." We settled onto a couch that probably cost more than my car. Margaret opened a leather portfolio, pulling out a stack of documents. "This is a prenuptial agreement," she began. "It outlines the terms of your marriage to Mr. Moretti." "Romantic," I muttered. Margaret's lips twitched. "Mr. Moretti has requested that I be frank with you, Ms. Clark. So I will be. This is not a traditional marriage. It's a business arrangement with specific parameters. You need to understand exactly what you're agreeing to." "I'm listening." She walked me through it. The marriage would last a minimum of 1 year. I'd receive a monthly allowance. She named a figure that made me choke, plus full access to household accounts for expenses. I could maintain my job or not. My choice. We'd appear together at family events and certain public functions. I'd live in the penthouse, but have my own room unless I chose otherwise. After 1 year, either party could request dissolution with a generous settlement for me. "And the catch?" I asked. "Because there's always a catch." Margaret exchanged a glance with Dante. "Mr. Moretti's family has certain expectations. They've been pressuring him to settle down, to show stability. You'll need to play the role of devoted wife in front of them. Some of Mr. Moretti's relatives can be intense." "Intense how?" "They ask questions. They test loyalties. They don't trust easily." Margaret leaned forward. "Ms. Clark, I need you to understand something. The Moretti family is powerful. They have connections that extend into every level of society. Marrying into this family means marrying into that world. Are you prepared for that?" I looked at Dante. He was watching me carefully, giving nothing away. "Will I be in danger?" "Not if you follow certain rules," he said. "Don't ask questions about business. Don't repeat anything you overhear. Trust me when I tell you to stay away from certain situations." He paused. "I know this sounds ominous, but I will protect you, Emma. That's not negotiable." "Why do I believe you?" "Because I've been honest with you from the start. I could have lied, could have painted this as something it's not, but I'd rather you know what you're walking into." I read through the prenup carefully. It was actually fair, more than fair. If we divorced after the minimum year, I'd walk away with enough money to start over anywhere I wanted. If I stayed longer, the settlement increased. There were clauses about discretion, about media, about family loyalty. "What about fidelity?" I asked, scanning the document. "What about it?" "It's not mentioned in here." Dante's expression became unreadable. "That's a conversation between us, not a legal clause. But for the record, I don't share. If you're mine, you're mine, even if it's just for show." Something hot and unexpected coiled in my stomach at his words. "And you? The same applies to me. While we're married, I'm yours." Margaret cleared her throat. If you're comfortable with the terms, we can proceed. The ceremony is scheduled for tomorrow evening. Tomorrow? I nearly dropped the papers. That's fast. We need to move quickly, Dante explained. My family's annual gathering is this weekend. I need to present you as my wife before then. And if I need more time, then we wait, and the opportunity passes. My family will arrange someone else for me. His eyes met mine. But I'd rather it be you. I should have asked for more time. Should have consulted my own lawyer. Should have done 1,000 things that responsible adults do before making life-altering decisions. Instead, I picked up the pen Margaret offered. Where do I sign? The next 24 hours passed in a blur. Rachel helped me pack my apartment, alternating between excitement and terror. My phone continued exploding with messages from Marcus. I'd finally sent him a single text. Don't contact me again. And from my mother, who'd heard about the broken engagement and was losing her mind. I ignored them all. Dante had his people handle everything. The wedding would be small. Just us, Margaret as witness, and a judge he knew. No family, no friends, no fanfare. Just a quick ceremony to make it legal. Are you sure about this? Rachel asked for the 100th time as she helped me pick out a dress. We'd gone shopping that afternoon, and I'd chosen something simple. White, but not wedding white. Elegant, but practical. No, I admitted, but I'm doing it anyway. That's very unlike you. Maybe I'm tired of being the old me. Rachel hugged me tight. Just promise me you'll be careful, and that you'll call if you need anything. I promise. The ceremony was at 6 p.m. in the judge's chambers. I arrived with Rachel, who'd insisted on being there even though she wasn't officially invited. Dante showed up in a dark suit that made him look like he'd stepped out of a fashion magazine. He'd brought flowers, white roses. You look beautiful, he said, handing them to me. You don't have to say that. This isn't real. Isn't it? Something flickered in his eyes. We're getting married, Emma. That's as real as it gets. The ceremony took less than 10 minutes. Judge Morrison, a pleasant woman in her 60s, walked us through the vows. Standard ones. Nothing personalized. When it came time for rings, Dante pulled out a small box. I didn't have time to get one for you, I said, panicking. That's all right. This is for you. The ring was stunning. A simple platinum band with a single diamond. Not too big, not too small. Perfect, actually. I may have had Margaret do some reconnaissance about your style, Dante admitted as he slid it onto my finger. You do judge declare you husband and wife, Judge Morrison announced. You may kiss the bride. I hadn't thought about this part. Dante stepped closer, his hand gentle on my cheek. May I? He asked quietly. I nodded, not trusting my voice. The kiss was soft, brief, but it sent electricity through my entire body. When he pulled back, his eyes were dark with something I couldn't quite name. Mrs. Moretti, he said. Mr. Moretti, I replied, testing out the words. Rachel wiped tears from her eyes. I can't believe you actually did it. Neither can I. We signed the paperwork, made it official, and just like that, I was married to a man I'd met 24 hours ago. Dante drove me to the penthouse, to our home, I supposed, and carried my suitcases inside. He showed me to a bedroom suite that was bigger than my entire old apartment. Private bathroom, walk-in closet, sitting area with a view of the city. This is yours, he said. Your private space. I won't enter without permission. Where's your room? Across the hall. He paused at the door. Emma, I know this is overwhelming, but I want you to know that you're safe here. Whatever else this is, you're under my protection now. No one will hurt you, not even you, especially not me. After he left, I sat on the edge of the massive bed and stared at the ring on my finger. Somewhere across the city, Marcus was probably still trying to explain himself. Veronica was probably gloating. My mother was probably planning an intervention. And I was here, married to a stranger, starting a new life that made absolutely no sense. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Welcome to the family, Emma. We can't wait to meet you. Elena Moretti. I stared at it for a long moment. Then I texted back. Thank you. Looking forward to it. I was either brave or insane. Probably both. The Moretti family gathering was held at an estate that made Dante's penthouse look modest. We drove for nearly an hour outside the city, eventually turning onto a private road that wound through manicured grounds. That's a house? I stared at the mansion coming into view. That's a small castle. My family likes to make an impression. Dante's hands were relaxed on the steering wheel. but I could feel the tension radiating from him. Remember what I told you. We'd spent the past 2 days preparing. He'd drilled me on names, relationships, unspoken rules. Don't ask about business. Don't wander off alone. Stay close to him. Smile. Be pleasant but not overeager. Let them come to me. Your Aunt Francesca will try to intimidate you, he continued. My cousin Marco will flirt. Ignore him. And my mother. He paused. My mother is the real test. No pressure. She'll love you. But he didn't sound convinced. Cars lined the circular driveway. Expensive ones. The kind that cost more than houses. Dante parked and came around to open my door, offering his hand. Ready? Absolutely not. That's the spirit. He laced his fingers through mine. Just breathe. I'll be right beside you. The front door opened before we reached it. A woman in her 50s stood there. Elegant. Beautiful. With dark hair like Dante's and eyes that missed nothing. Dante. She embraced him, then turned to me. And this must be Emma. Mama, this is my wife. Emma. My mother. Elena Moretti. Elena studied me with an intensity that made me want to squirm. Then her face broke into a warm smile. Welcome to the family, dear. Come in. Come in. Everyone is anxious to meet you. The inside of the house was even more impressive. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, artwork that belonged in museums. People filled the main rooms, dozens of them, all dressed like they were attending a high society function. Conversations stopped when we entered. Every eye turned to us. Everyone, Elena announced, her voice carrying easily. This is Emma, Dante's wife. The silence lasted exactly 3 seconds. Then everyone started talking at once. People surged forward, introducing themselves in a blur of names and faces. Cousins, aunts, uncles, family friends. Dante stayed close, his hand on the small of my back, a steady presence in the chaos. So you're the one who finally got Dante to settle down, a beautiful woman in her 30s said, looking me up and down. I'm Sophia, his cousin. We were all beginning to think he was allergic to commitment. It just took the right person, I said, managing a smile. How romantic, and so sudden. You two must have quite the story. We do, Dante interjected smoothly. But that's between us. Sophia laughed. Still keeping secrets, cousin? Some things never change. An older man approached, Dante's uncle Carlo. He had the same dark eyes, but with a harder edge. Welcome, Emma. I hope you know what you're getting into. I'm learning, I said carefully. Good. This family can be overwhelming. But we take care of our own. He shook my hand, his grip firm. You're one of us now. That means something. The warning was clear, even if the words were friendly. Dinner was served in a dining room that seated 30 people. I was placed next to Dante at one end of the long table, with his mother across from us. The meal was elaborate, course after course of Italian dishes that were works of art. So, Emma, Elena said during the main course, Dante tells me you work in marketing? Yes, for a tech company downtown. Will you continue working? I glanced at Dante. We'd discussed this. For now, yes. I enjoy what I do. Independent. I like that. Elena sipped her wine. Dante needs someone strong. Someone who won't be pushed around. Is that a warning or a compliment? Elena's lips curved. Both. Mama, Dante said mildly. You promised to behave. I am behaving. I'm simply getting to know my new daughter-in-law. She turned back to me. How did you two meet? This was the story we'd prepared. At a gallery opening, I said. I was there with a friend. Dante was there for the art. We started talking and it just clicked. Love at first sight? Sophia asked from down the table. Something like that. And you decided to get married after, what, a few weeks? When you know, Dante said, his tone brooking no argument. The conversation shifted to other topics, but I could feel the scrutiny. Every word I said was being analyzed, weighed, judged. It was exhausting. After dinner, Elena pulled me aside while the men gathered in another room for cigars and whatever else they did. Walk with me, she said, linking her arm through mine. We strolled through a garden that was probably beautiful in daylight. Now, lit by strategically placed lights, it felt slightly ominous. You seem like a nice girl, Elena said, but I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me. Okay, why did you really marry my son? My heart hammered. We fell in love. Emma. She stopped walking, turning to face me. I didn't raise a fool, and you don't strike me as one either. My son doesn't fall in love at first sight. He doesn't get married on a whim. So I'll ask you again, why? I could lie, should lie, but something about Elena's direct gaze made me want to tell the truth. He offered me a way out, I said quietly, from a situation I needed to escape. And I offered him what he needed in return, which was you, this. I gestured at the house, the family. He said you wanted him to settle down, to show stability. Elena was quiet for a long moment. Then, surprisingly, she smiled. At least you're honest. That's more than I can say for most of the women who've tried to get close to Dante. I'm not trying to get close to him. Aren't you? You married him. It's an arrangement. For now. Elena started walking again. But let me tell you something about my son, Emma. He doesn't do anything halfway. If he married you, even for practical reasons, he's already decided you're worth protecting. And once Dante decides to protect something, he doesn't let go. That sounds ominous. It should. This family, this life, it's not easy. There are dangers you don't see yet. People who would hurt you to get to him. Are you prepared for that? I don't know, I admitted. But I'm here, and I'm not running. Good. Elena patted my arm. Then let me give you some advice. Trust your instincts. Don't trust everyone in this family. Some of them smile while plotting. Keep your eyes open. And most importantly, if Dante tells you to do something, do it. He has his reasons. That's not exactly reassuring. It's not meant to be. It's meant to keep you alive. We returned to find the gathering breaking up. People were saying their goodbyes, promising to see us soon. Sophia hugged me a bit too tightly, whispering, "Good luck, cousin," in my ear. The drive home was quiet. Dante seemed lost in thought. "You did well," he finally said. "My mother likes you. She also warned me that your family might try to kill me. She exaggerates." He paused. Slightly. "That's not comforting, Dante." "I know. But she's right about one thing. You need to be careful. Not everyone in that house tonight wishes us well." "Who?" "My Uncle Carlo, for one. He wanted me to marry his daughter, Bianca. Thought it would strengthen his position in the family. By marrying you, I disrupted those plans. So I've made an enemy already." "Great. You've made an ally in my mother. That's worth more than you know." He reached over, taking my hand. "I meant what I said, Emma. I'll protect you, no matter what." The sincerity in his voice made my chest tight. This was supposed to be just business, a convenient arrangement. So why did his promise feel like so much more? Back at the penthouse, I kicked off my heels and collapsed onto the couch. My feet were killing me, and my brain was overloaded with names and faces and subtle threats disguised as welcomes. Dante loosened his tie, looking more relaxed than he had all evening. Wine? God, yes. He poured 2 glasses and sat beside me. Close, but not too close. We drank in comfortable silence for a few minutes. "Your family is terrifying," I finally said. "I know. Your mother basically told me to trust no one." "Good advice. Am I supposed to trust you?" Dante looked at me, his dark eyes serious. "Yes. Whatever else happens, whatever you learn about me or my family, know that I will never hurt you, and I won't let anyone else hurt you either. Even if it costs you?" Even then, I wanted to ask why. Why me? Why this? Why any of it? But I was too tired, and the wine was making everything soft around the edges. "I should go to bed," I said, standing. Dante stood too. "Emma?" "Yeah? Thank you. For doing this. For tonight. I know it wasn't easy. We had a deal. Still, thank you." I nodded and headed to my room, feeling his eyes on me the whole way. Once inside, I locked the door and leaned against it, my heart racing for reasons I didn't want to examine. This was supposed to be simple, a business arrangement with clear boundaries. So why did everything suddenly feel so complicated? Monday morning came too quickly. I'd barely slept, my mind replaying the family gathering on an endless loop. Every smile that didn't reach someone's eyes, every carefully worded question, every warning disguised as friendly advice. Dante knocked on my door at 7. "Emma, I have a meeting this morning. My driver will take you to work and pick you up." I opened the door, still in pajamas. "Is that necessary?" "Yes. You don't go anywhere alone anymore. It's not negotiable." The genuine concern in his eyes made it impossible to argue. "Fine." Marco, the driver, was a kind man in his 40s who loved coffee as much as I did. Work was both relief and stress. My colleagues noticed the ring immediately. asking endless questions about my mysterious new husband. That evening, Dante cooked dinner, pasta carbonara that was better than any restaurant. We ate and talked, and for a moment, everything felt normal, almost like a real marriage. "Why did you really marry me?" I asked, emboldened by wine. Dante set down his fork. "My family wanted me to marry my Uncle Carlo's daughter, Bianca. It would have strengthened certain alliances, but I've seen too many miserable strategic marriages in this family." He met my eyes. "When I saw you in that bar, you were real, honest. I thought maybe we could build something better." His words made my chest tight. This was supposed to be just business. His phone rang, shattering the moment. When he returned from taking the call, he looked dangerous again. "I have to go out. There's a situation." He pulled me close, kissing my forehead. "Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone except me or Marco." At midnight, I heard him return. Heard voices. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. Dante was there with 2 men, his shirt torn, blood on his knuckles. "Carlo's going to be furious," one man said. "Let him be furious," Dante replied. "Emma is my wife. She's off limits. Make sure everyone knows that." My heart hammered. This was about me. When the men left, Dante saw me. "Emma, you should be in bed. What happened? Are you hurt? Carlo sent a message. Implied you might be in danger if I didn't reconsider certain arrangements." I explained why that was a very bad idea. By fighting them? By making sure they understood that you are under my protection. He moved closer. "I told you I'd keep you safe. I meant it." I pulled him to the bathroom, cleaning his bloody knuckles carefully. "Why risk yourself for me? Because you're my wife. Because I made you a promise." His fingers touched my chin, tilting my face up. Because somewhere along the way, this stopped being just an arrangement. My breath caught. "Dante, you don't have to say anything, but I need you to understand. In my world, loyalty is everything, and my loyalty is to you now, completely." The air between us crackled with tension. His phone rang again, breaking the spell. "We'll talk more tomorrow," he said, his eyes never leaving mine. I stood in that bathroom long after he left, my heart racing. This was supposed to be simple, so why did it suddenly feel like I was falling? The next few weeks blurred together. Dante and I fell into a routine. Breakfast together, texts during the day, dinner most nights. He was attentive, protective, surprisingly funny. The attraction between us grew impossible to ignore. Then Veronica texted me. "We need to talk about your husband. Meet me at Rosie's bar tonight, 7 p.m. Come alone." Dante was furious when I told him. "Absolutely not. She's my stepsister. What's she going to do?" We compromised. I'd go, but Marco would be nearby. Veronica looked perfect as always, sitting at the bar with a martini. "Emma, you actually came. What do you want?" "To warn you. Dante Moretti? His family is dangerous. You're putting yourself at risk." I laughed bitterly. "Now you care about my safety? After you slept with my fiancé? That was a mistake. Marcus realizes that now. He wants you back. I don't care what Marcus wants. Dante treats me better in 2 weeks than Marcus did in 2 years. So tell him to move on." "Because I have." I left before she could respond. Dante was waiting when I got home, tension radiating from him. What did she want? "To convince me to leave you. She said Marcus wants me back." And I told her I'm exactly where I want to be. Something fierce flashed in his eyes. He crossed the room, pulling me against him. "Say that again. I'm where I want to be. Emma." His voice was rough. "This stopped being an arrangement for me weeks ago. Tell me I'm not alone in this." I grabbed his shirt and kissed him. The kiss was fire and need and weeks of tension breaking. When we finally pulled apart, we were both breathing hard. "This complicates things," I whispered. "I don't care." He pressed his forehead to mine. "I want you, Emma, as my wife, my partner, mine." "I feel it too," I admitted. That night, everything changed. We stopped pretending this was just business. For 3 perfect weeks, I was happier than I'd been in years. We fell into each other naturally, holding hands, stealing kisses, talking until dawn. I was falling in love with my husband. Then Carlo made his move. I was at work when Dante called, his voice tight. "Emma, listen carefully. Marco is coming to get you right now. Carlo hired people to grab you, to use you as leverage against me." My blood turned to ice. "What?" "Just trust me. Go with Marco. Now." Marco appeared at my office seconds later. "Mrs. Moretti, we need to leave." We rushed to the car. Marco drove fast, checking mirrors constantly. "Where's Dante?" "Handling the situation. He wants you somewhere safe." We didn't go to the penthouse. Instead, Marco drove to a house outside the city. Smaller, hidden, secure. 2 armed men stood guard outside. "You'll stay here until Mr. Moretti gives the all clear," Marco said. Hours passed. No word from Dante. I paced, terrified, imagining the worst. Finally, at midnight, Dante arrived. He looked exhausted, dangerous, and relieved all at once. "Emma." He pulled me into his arms, holding me so tight I could barely breathe. "Thank God you're safe." "What happened?" "Carlo tried to have you kidnapped. Thought he could force me to step down, give him control of certain operations. But we intercepted his people." His jaw tightened. "I made it very clear what happens to anyone who touches you. Is it over? For now. But Carlo won't stop. He sees you as my weakness. Maybe I should leave. Go somewhere he can't use me against you." "No." Dante's grip tightened. "You're not leaving. You're mine, Emma. And I will burn this whole city down before I let anyone hurt you." The ferocity in his voice should have scared me. Instead, it made me feel safer than I'd ever felt. What do we do now? Now we end this. Permanently. The family meeting was called for Sunday. Every Moretti gathered at the estate. Aunts, uncles, cousins, associates. The tension was suffocating. Elena pulled me aside before it started. "Whatever happens in there, stay quiet. Let Dante handle this." "What's going to happen?" "Justice, Moretti style." We gathered in a massive room. Carlo stood on one side with his supporters, Dante on the other with his. The family patriarch, Dante's grandfather Salvatore, sat at the head like a king. "We're here because Carlo has violated family law," Salvatore began, his voice carrying despite his age. "He attempted to harm Dante's wife." "Explain yourself, Carlo." "That woman is an outsider," Carlo spat. "She weakens us. Dante chose her over family, over Bianca. I was protecting our interests." "By kidnapping my wife?" Dante's voice was cold steel. "By threatening her life? She doesn't belong here. She is a Moretti now. That makes her family." Salvatore's gaze swept the room. "Anyone who harms family answers to me. That includes you, Carlo." "Father, you can't be serious." "I'm dead serious. You crossed a line. You put your ambition above family loyalty." Salvatore stood, and despite his age, he commanded absolute authority. "You're out, Carlo. Out of the business. Out of family decisions. Out of everything. You'll keep a small allowance to live on. Nothing more." Carlo's face went purple with rage. "You'll regret this. All of you. The only thing I regret is not seeing your treachery sooner." Salvatore turned to Dante. "You've proven your strength, your loyalty. The family is yours to lead now. Officially." The room erupted in murmurs. Dante had just become head of the family. Carlo stormed out, his supporters following reluctantly. The message was clear. Cross Dante. Face consequences. That night, back at the penthouse, I finally exhaled. Is it really over? Carlo's neutralized. He has no power anymore. No resources to come after us. Dante pulled me close. "You're safe. And you're now head of the family. Does that scare you? Honestly? A little. But I trust you. Good. Because I need you beside me, Emma. Not just as my wife. As my partner. My equal. I'm not exactly Mafia material. You're stronger than you think. You faced down Veronica, survived Carlo's threats, and stood by me through all of this." He cupped my face. "You're exactly what I need." I kissed him, pouring everything I felt into it. "I love you, Dante Moretti. I love you too, Emma Moretti. More than I thought possible." 2 months later, life had settled into a new normal. I'd quit my job to work alongside Dante, managing legitimate family businesses. We were partners in every sense. Then the invitation arrived. Marcus and Veronica's engagement party. "You don't have to go," Dante said, studying my face. "Actually, I think I do." We arrived at the party in Dante's Maserati, turning every head. I wore a dress that cost more than my old monthly salary, with Dante's arm around my waist. Marcus and Veronica stood greeting guests. Their faces when they saw us were priceless. "Emma," Marcus stammered. "You came. Wouldn't miss it." I smiled sweetly. "Congratulations on your engagement. I'm sure you'll be very happy together." Veronica's smile was strained. "Thank you. And this must be your husband?" "Dante Moretti." He extended his hand, his presence making Marcus look small and insignificant. "I've heard a lot about you both." We mingled, and I watched Marcus watch me all night. Watched him see how Dante touched me, how we laughed together, how genuinely happy I was. At one point, Marcus cornered me. "Emma, please. I made a mistake. We could still what? Get back together." I laughed. "Marcus, you did me the biggest favor of my life. You showed me I deserved better, and I found better. With a criminal? With a man who values me, who protects me, who loves me completely." I looked him in the eye. "You had something real, and you threw it away for someone who never truly loved you. Veronica collects things, Marcus. She doesn't keep them." I walked away, leaving him to process that truth. Veronica confronted me in the bathroom. "Must be nice, landing a rich man to save you." "I saved myself, Veronica. Dante just gave me the space to do it." I turned to face her. "You spent your whole life trying to take what was mine. But here's the thing. You can't steal happiness. You can't fake love. And right now, looking at you and Marcus, I've never been more grateful you stabbed me in the back." Her face crumpled slightly. For the first time, I saw past her perfect facade to the insecurity beneath. She'd won Marcus, but lost something she couldn't name. "I hope you figure out what you're really looking for," I said, softer now, "because it's not stealing other people's lives." Dante was waiting when I emerged. "Ready to go home?" "More than ready." In the car, he took my hand. "How do you feel?" "Free. Completely, totally free." I smiled. "They look miserable together, and I'm happy. That's the best revenge of all. That's my girl." 6 months later, I stood on the balcony of our penthouse, watching the sun rise over the city. Dante's arms wrapped around me from behind. "What are you thinking about?" He murmured against my hair. "About how different my life is now. How different I am. Regrets? Not a single one." It was true. The scared, heartbroken woman who'd walked into Rosie's bar that night was gone. In her place was someone stronger. Someone who'd faced down betrayal, danger, and the criminal underworld, and come out better for it. I'd learned that family wasn't always blood, that love could come from unexpected places, that sometimes the worst moments lead to the best outcomes. Marcus and Veronica got married, but word through my mother was that they fought constantly. Veronica had already been caught flirting with someone else. Karma, it seemed, had a sense of humor. Carlo had tried twice more to regain power, but Dante shut him down each time. The family was stronger under Dante's leadership. More legitimate businesses, fewer risks, better futures for everyone. And me? I'd found my place. Not as someone's trophy wife or convenient arrangement. As a true partner to a man who challenged me, protected me, and loved me fiercely. "You know what the funny thing is?" I said, turning in Dante's arms. "I went to that bar planning nothing. No future, no hope. Just trying to survive the worst day of my life. And instead, you met me. Instead, I met you. Married you. Fell in love with you." I kissed him softly. "Best impulsive decision I ever made." "Second best," he corrected. "The best was when you decided to stay." He was right. I could have left after the year was up. Could have taken the settlement and started over somewhere safe and boring. But I chose this life, this man, this family. I love you, Dante Moretti. I love you, Emma Moretti. Forever. Behind us, the city woke up. A whole world of possibilities stretched out before us. Together we could face anything. The girl who caught her fiancé with her stepsister and married a Mafia boss instead? She lived happily ever after. Thank you so much for reading this story. If you enjoyed Emma and Dante's journey, please hit that like button and subscribe for more dramatic love stories. And I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below telling me, what would you have done in Emma's situation? Would you have taken Dante's offer? Let's chat in the comments.